Unlike filler episodes, which are merely episodes that are used there to stretch out the amount of time provided by the choice of the number of episodes within a season, there are episodes that are merely there to move the plot of the overall story arc of a season, provided that a show does this, along. And primarily this does fall heavily upon a penultimate episode, meaning the second to last episode before the series, or season rather, finale. Such is the case here with The Flash and the girl with the red lightning. Of course, who's that girl? Well, of course, it's Nora, as she had went over to the dark side of the Speed Force and used it to manage to come back, and she had her little heist plan to get weapons that she could use against Cicada, as they're calling it. I prefer that to Cicada 2. But anyway, quite a few things are kind of coming together and wrapping up within this episode. Nora made amends with their parents, and they're back together and good. But now they're realizing that Cicada's plan is to utilize the elements of the cure for the metahuman gene, or metahuman ailment, if you will. And she's going to use it to create a device that will kill all the metahumans in the city. And now the police department announces they have the cure, and if you want to be cured of it, you can, before you're all wiped out by this supervillain. so of course they're slammed with people who show up desperate for it, and it's difficult to put it out there for them, because if you're cured of your metahuman powers, then Cicada's bomb, as it were, can't kill you. Meanwhile, in an attempt to stop her, the Flash and Nora XS confront her, and they have another one of their fights. And Nora discovers that she still has a mental link with Grace, who is Cicada, but a version of her from the future, while the young Grace is still in a coma. And so she uses this to where she can see into her mind what her plans are and whatnot, and she says, hey, we can use that. But then the Flash decides, no, she can also sense you, and she'll know what we're up to if you keep doing that. And so he's kind of grounds her, and she's, not crazy about this. So of course, what does she do? Well, she attempts to use this ability again, and using some of the tech there at Star Labs to boost it, and manages to figure out where Cicada is, and that's where they go to have their final confrontation for the episode anyway, and leaves it all set up for the next episode. Now, the interesting thing was what was Thawne up to this whole time, and leave it to Ralph Dibny to put it all together. And it's revealed that Thawne had the Cicada dagger under his vest this whole time. How did he manage that? I don't know. But ultimately, he needs the Cicada dagger to be destroyed. Now, Cisco, he figures out how to do this, or rather, it doesn't seem to destroy it, because they tested on the satellite that initially started this whole thing at the beginning of the season. And he shoots it with this new ray gun, I suppose, he develops, and it seems to just disappear or go off somewhere. It looks like more like it teleports somewhere, perhaps to another dimension or what have you, or another one of the multiverse. And they figure, who cares where when it works? And so he decides that's what they're going to do. And so at the last minute, the Flash is going to shoot the dagger and get rid of it, and therefore their powers cannot be dampened anymore, and they can take out Cicada. Cicada, it's revealed, has her own powers within her. She doesn't really need the dagger; it just helps her do her job as her mission or whatever it is. And this reveals something that Ralph figures out, that this is what Thawne was doing. She didn't have the dagger in her time, so that means, where is it? Well, Thawne had it. So my guess is he needs the dagger to be zapped by Barry to go into that dimensional warp or what have you, and perhaps that's how he even has it in the first place, or maybe the two would enable him to escape his execution. But that's where it is. His time has run out and he's about to be executed in the future, and so this is what he's been working towards, and will probably afford him his escape. There were interesting elements where Dibny discussed, because the original Cicada was an entirely different man, but the timeline had been altered and changed because of Nora's interference, that this never happened, and so a different man became Cicada, and so everything changed. But it appears that this was all what Thawne was up to. So it doesn't mean that Thawne doesn't have genuine feelings for Nora and all that stuff he said, and he understands them and all that. But at the same time, yes, he still had a plot. So it's very similar to how things happened in the initial season of The Flash, where, he was using the Flash to boost his power so he could have the speed necessary for him to get home. But at the same time, he saw Barry Allen in a different light and actually started to care for the guy. So, here, same thing with Nora and so on and so forth. So there you go. It's sort of a mirror of the whole damn series there, or an echo, if you will, an often used storytelling trope. And there you have it. Some of the effects were pretty cheesy this time around, but the cast works out well. And if you're wondering why didn't Sherlock, or French Doctor Who, as I call him, didn't catch on to this as quick as Dibny did, it's because his mind is elsewhere. He has a new love interest here, and we discover, yes, she has metahuman powers, and they're thinking of having her, well, just take the cure so that Cicada can't kill you. But she confesses she doesn't want to give up her powers. She likes them, and it's part of who she is and all this sort of thing. And, I sometimes wondered if this whole thing of the cure was supposed to be some metaphor for the proverbial cure for, like, homosexuality or something like that people thought could possibly be achieved. And then the question would be, well, would you take it if you could, and all this sort of thing. I don't know, but it also plays on old X-Men story plots and that sort of thing. And that's pretty much what metahumans are. They just can't call them mutants because, well, Marvel thought of it first. So, anyway, she doesn't want to do that. So he arranges for her to go back to his world, his version of Earth, and just opens the door. It's that simple. All you got to do is hop through it. So she does. And it took a while. They're having a long and goodbye, and I thought, Cicada's going to show up and stab her in the heart or something. But no, she's safe away, and I guess this will make, wife number 4 or 5 for him? I don't know. But there you go. He had his sweet little love story. But meanwhile, the crux of it is, of course, that Thawne wants them to attack the dagger, and I guess it's left at a cliffhanger. Did he do it? Did Barry hit the thing and and then Thawne's free? I don't know. We'll see. But there you go. It's an okay show, an episode to go through. It's just the entire story is dogged by, they never came up with a really decent explanation as to why Killer Frost can't destroy Cicada, which she absolutely could. She's far more powerful than Cicada is. She could just freeze this idiot, and that's it. Done. Game over. And instead, she's constantly fighting Cicada with popsicles. And it just drags it all down, and they should have come up with some way that Cicada had a way to nullify her powers as well, because her powers aren't the same as the meta deal, and so she doesn't ever lose them in Cicada's presence. So they needed to come up with something else to figure out where Cicada's able to get around that, because otherwise, you're no match for Killer Frost. So yeah, I don't know. It just drags it all down, and it's a rather obvious plot hole there. And if they could have, I don't know, just had her lose her powers, or something's wrong, or whatever, that she just wasn't available in that scene, because every time she shows up, it's like, just do it. Just end it right now. And there's no real explanation as to why she can't. Especially when they demonstrated in an earlier episode where she was fighting with her father and stuff like that, and they were doing these ginormous Iceman bridges and stuff. And it's like, look at all that ice you can just make just out of nowhere. And it's like, you can't do it to this. I mean, Oh, well, there wasn't enough moisture in the air or something. No, come on. So, yeah, that's pretty bad. So, I'm going to give this one 4 stars. It's overall entertaining episode and whatnot, but not its best. But also not at the lows of just a dumb filler episode either. It couldn't be because, well, the season's coming to an end. So we'll see how they wrap this one up. But the high points here for the season overall, obviously, is that they didn't go for yet another speedster. They didn't go for something on par with the Thinker in the previous season. But I'm kind of thinking they need a break. And this one kind of sort of did. The Cicada was the villain they kept pursuing, but there's actually 2 villains, and it's Dawn, his back, being the brain, the mastermind behind the whole season and that sort of thing. But it's a template they keep reusing, and I don't see them figuring out how to shake that up. Maybe they will. I was surprised to hear that there's going to be another season, and possibly following that. But it makes sense since this is the most popular show they've produced. They probably had thoughts that they would end it by now. But so they're going to have to figure out how to shake this thing up a little more than that, instead of just having a master villain for the whole season and everybody else is just furniture for an episode. So, but anyway, there you go. The girl with the red lightning, or however they said it, I forget. The Flash. Thank you for watching and listening. Say, while you're here, why not like and subscribe? And for those of you who have subscribed, thank you very much. And while you're here, check out that link description below. That'll take you to my mini stores that have plenty of goodies for you. Yes, you.